What is up, everyone? Zacham's Prime, aka Zacham's Prime, here with another Transformers Third Party Legends review. And the figure I'm looking at today is the Zeta Toys Flyfire Mini. And yeah, I just continued to be impressed with these little guys. Of course, I really liked the originals when they came out, and I really like these ones. So, but my feelings for so much of my feelings for the original set carries over to this mini set. Except I just am immensely satisfied with how the designs transfer over into the miniature. I also find myself wishing that maybe they would miniaturize the Combaticons, though some of those figures are super panely and may not translate well into Legends. I think that they could very easily miniaturize their Constructor, even though I already have a Devastator that I'm really pleased with. So I don't know. I have told people that if somebody comes out with a really good Legend scale Raiden, I'll probably go for that. I enjoyed reviewing that set, even though the combined mode was just frustrating to photograph, to video. But I always have frustrations like that when I deal with large figures, and every time I review a large figure, I'm just like, wow, I'm never going to review a large figure again. And then I always end up reviewing a large figure again. So I actually have a couple large figures in the menu, but I don't know. That's neither here nor there. Anyhow, let's get into this figure. So again, the design managed to shrink down pretty well. I do feel that the proportions of this figure are a little off compared to the original Flyfire. Also, I've got some issues with this one. Like, for example, the paint right here is all kind of jacked up. And that's all that, like, the white paint is rubbing off just in that section. Not on this side, only on that side. So, but while I'm in here, let's talk about the face sculpt. I think it looks kind of weird. Looks kind of like cheesy, a little bit dorky. It is painted really well. The silver pops quite nicely. The metallic blue, I mean, like very tiny metallic blue paint apps for his eyes, also work out really well. And yeah, it's back down to take the whole thing in frame. There he is from the back. Some good details and tamper printings, most of which are going to be more prevalent in the alternate mode than they are in the robot mode. There is some die cast panels on him. His chest is die cast. I believe both of these little panels that make up his side are both die cast, though I'm not 100% certain. I also want to say that part of his waist piece here might be die cast, or maybe not. It's hard to tell from here. No, I think that is die cast. And then he's got some die cast on his shins. So a few die cast parts. Actually, one of the big tells of what's die cast on this figure and what's not is that the red plastic, has got this metal flake in it that looks really nice, and the red paint is slightly metallic, but it just doesn't have that like depth of color that the red plastic has. So, but yeah, there he is from the front. There he is from the back. Exactly what you would have expected from, if you're familiar with the original. He does come with some accessories. He comes with a pair of these blasters that are double barreled. Kind of funny. The the mold separation is top and bottom instead of side to side with all of these other guys. So kind of fun. A little bit of mixing things up. And he holds them just fine. In fact, I may even go in to say that he holds them quite securely, because all of these little guys have managed to hold their guns really securely, and I don't know if it's like an issue with the tolerancing or whatnot. They hold it really well. And since that's not a bad thing, I'm not holding it against them. Just some of them, as you may have seen if you've been following this so far, seem to not want to give it up when I try to take their guns out. I also believe, though I haven't tried, I think that all these guns are the same, like, peg size. So they could probably mix and match if they wanted to, which is why I'm trying to not mix them up. But anyhow, in terms of posability, his head is on a ball joint. It'll look down. It'll look up all the way. A little bit of confused robot look. Rotates around just fine. His arm will go all the way around. Come out for the full tree pose. There are several joints in here to accommodate the various motions that his arm takes, but regardless, you can bring it out for the full tree pose and beyond. He's got a bicep swivel here, single joint elbow for 90 degrees. His wrist will go up and down, though that is a transformation thing. This is slightly loose, but since he doesn't hold anything heavier than this tiny little gun, it's not a problem. He's got an actual wrist swivel here, and it's just a peg that holds that on. Because of the simplicity, there's a little bit of hollowness in here, but I'm going to give it to them. I understand that there's, design considerations that you have to take into account when you're miniaturizing your designs. He's got a waist joint that is a little bit impeded, but it's, good enough. Good enough to get all the posability that you really need out of this figure. A little bit of skirt armor. Come on. A little bit of skirt armor on the front. Leg goes that far forward. Goes that far back if we kind of move it around this tail fin here, and goes out for the full Thor pose. Thigh swivel here. Single joint bend for 90 degrees. These wings, you may jostle them out of place. They're just on a ball joint. They'll actually stay in place fairly well. I do have a complaint about one of these sets of wings, but since I'm 4 reviews in so far and I haven't complained about one yet, you know which one it is. So ankle is on it's the toe. It's on a ball joint, and then the back of this foot is his heel spur, basically, so it's mostly cosmetic. Not really any kind of functional use to it. It does not tilt up. It will tilt down a little bit, though that's also for transformation, and it will go side to side as much as you need. Literally. All in all, it's a pretty good looking figure. Let's get him transformed up. So what we want to do is kind of disconnect all of this airplane part back here. So bring that out, bring this up. His head will come down on this double joint here. You want to just take his head, rotate it around. That will hide it away. Hide it away. Makes it so you don't see his face. I guess that's the most important thing. His arms, you want to fold up the hand like so, and then collapse this arm. And then, actually, we're going to do both at the same time, because you want to pop this chest open and then bring this in. You can kind of see, this white swing arm in here. The whole assembly is hinged on that swing arm. So you're going to swing that in, which will bring that all the way in. And then this is just going to fill in that gap like so. As I recall, I think I had issues with this figure when I transformed it. It was one of my earlier transformations that I did on the kitchen table at my parents' house. Forever ago, it feels like. To transform up the legs, you just want to take this, flip this toe down, rotate it around, and then you can take and this, so this red part here slides independently of this white part on the inside, but the white part also slides up on the leg. So we're going to take and slide up that red part there, and then we're going to slide up the leg like so. And that will collapse it all up to the point where it's where it needs to be. So we'll do the same for the other leg real quick. Fold the toe down, rotate it around, slide this part in, and I do want to point out that it will click into place on either side of that slide. So, and then we're going to tab these together. The wings will just kind of sit on the outside of those arms, and then this is just going to pop down. I do like that they took out the tabs on the larger, the Masterpiece scale version. There were tabs on the inside of this, and you had to like kind of like hold everything open and then tab them around. Grooves like this that were in the central strut, they took that out, so this will come just straight down, and then this will clamp down over that. And again, like I said, for the larger one, this is actually one of the better, actually, of this whole set. I would say that this is the best alt mode of them all, because to be perfectly honest, the F4 Phantom was kind of a chunky plane, and the chunky profile is not out of character for it. So the wing tips do not fold up quite enough to be accurate. I think that most people are going to not realize that they are supposed to tilt up, and they'll keep them in line, but they are supposed to be folded up slightly more than they're allowed here, but not a whole lot more, I guess. But I mean, I'd give it another 2 degrees. The overall shape of the tail fin looks good. It's got some nice little like details that's worked into it, like this little hook here. This is part of an armature for running the tail rudder properly. The exhaust is, let me get this clip together. There we go. These are molded in black plastic and look really good. No paint apps there needed. The color matching between the paint and the plastic is actually not so bad. You've got plastic all along here, and then you've got metal. That's a metal piece. These are metal right here, you know, for these high stress armature parts. Canopy does, in fact, if I can get it to open sesame, open damn you. There we go. Canopy does open. There's a couple little moderately molded seats in there. The nose cone doesn't come off like it tends to do with the larger one, but you know. All in all, I like it. The simplification, I think, worked out fairly well for this figure. Was fairly kind to it. You can take his guns and peg them into these little hard points down here. There's this divot in front of it that holds this section of the gun here, which, as a perk, makes it so that they align really, really straight. You don't have a lot of, you know, torsional control over them. They just point in the direction that they're supposed to point. There they are with the guns from the front, or from the top. There it is from the front. Looks really good. All in all, I like it. He's got little landing gears molded in, basically like no clearance. But, you know, it sits on the ground. It does the thing. It does the thing that it's supposed to do. And I like it a whole lot. The set has really just been super enjoyable. I have enjoyed having legend scale of what was arguably my favorite combiner. I really liked the large Superion set, and so far I've really liked this smaller aerial bot set. So thanks everybody for watching. You guys are fantastic. Everybody stay awesome and be good to each other. See ya. Bye.